Brandon Aiyuk, boys, I don't know where he's going, what he's going to do. We're going to have Michael Lombardi.
Know where he's not going.
Shut up.
Yeah, we'll see. It's not great for one member of the toxic table. Boston Connor, what's going on? Why? So reports are Brandon Aiyuk took himself out of the running for the New England Patriots, right? Can you explain what happened?
Yeah, so allegedly what happened was trade in place. Niners, they agreed to the trade terms that the Patriots offered them, and then the next step, of course, was negotiating a deal with Brandon Aiyuk and his agent. That went well as well. The offer was sent over. Schefter, it's not in this tweet, but allegedly in the $30 million range. And Brandon Aiyuk and his agent were basically playing patty cake, saying, yeah, all right, we'll think about it. No, we're not going to play New England. Now, I can't fault the guy. There's a quarterback there right now on a one-year deal who's the starter, Jacoby Brissett. Nobody knows what Drake May is going to be yet, even though signs at the moment are very, very good, aside from the reports from people that don't know anything in New England. But, yeah, you can't fault the guy. He doesn't want to go to New England. Sounds like he only wants to go to Pittsburgh. It is a nightmare scenario for Patriots fans. We are in the official era of why the hell would I want to go play for that poopy franchise, that poopy team. Jeez. I don't feel that way, of course. I am all in on the Patriots this year, and the reports out of the Patriots camp is because of the fact that there was some, kind of tomfoolery going around, some things where they didn't feel like the reciprocation from Aiyuk's camp was very genuine. They were like, all right, you know what? Why are we even screwing around with paying a guy $30+ million who doesn't want to be here? Forget about him. Let's go with Jalen Polk. Let's go with Javon Baker. Let's go with the guys in our building. Focus on them. Now, hopefully, Kendrick Bourne returns to camp because he wasn't there yesterday. I assume he's there today, but also the biggest thing that could come from this for New England is just pissing off one of the players that is supposed to be, leader, cornerstone, kind of the guy that is going to carry this new era of Patriot football into the future. And so basically nightmare for the Patriots across the board. We're not getting Aiyuk. There's a chance we pissed off Kendrick Bourne, our best receiver at the moment. And we wasted a bunch of time, and now we look like shit. So things aren't too good as far as being a Patriots fan, but I have the utmost faith in Gerard Mayo, Drake May, and the entire staff and players over in New England.
Oh, yeah, we know you do, Con. Man, Darius Butler, what do you think here when you hear that Aiyuk takes himself out of it or doesn't really want to go to New England, just strictly because he doesn't really, like Drake May is untested or he hasn't played in the NFL yet? We haven't seen him in any live reps.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it yesterday when we put those odds up, where the Patriots are obviously expected to finish, going from, a contender, a title contender every year in San Fran. I'm sure he wants to go somewhere where he feels like he can at least contend, win, get to the playoffs, do those things. I mean, being in the $30 million range, we said it yesterday, like at this point we think he just wants to get paid, but obviously he wants to go somewhere and win as well. And Kyle Shanahan, he said, hey, it's a possibility this guy can still be here. We heard Christian McCaffrey yesterday kind of misspeak and say, oh, former teammate, and kind of fix it and say teammate. So it seems like he's definitely on his way out. Be interesting to see how it unfolds. I know Tone and Nick are pretty jacked up right now that he's, he'll be in Pittsburgh soon, what it looks like.
Yeah, let's go back to the Hammer
Todd
Studios. Tone Diggs. Tone, development for you, I guess. I know you're back there as they say, you're going 6 to midnight.
You can't see me if you look left,
Yeah, with whatever's going on. Yeah, you're not around that corner, I guess. That's how the movie magic works with all these cameras. What do you think? I hear your squad, the Steelers, all of a sudden we hear they're out of it. There's no chance. Oh, we're not going to get Aiyuk. And then, bam, here we go. It feels like they're the front runner now. If you look at all the little signs and the smiley faces from Coach Tom when he's looking at the camera, kind of smirking, thinking, yeah, this is my guy. We're going to do it. What do you think, Tone?
Yesterday around 12:17, Shefty came on and kind of pretty much said, hey, Steelers are out of it, okay? Well, guess what?
Why did that happen, Tone? Honestly, why did we think the Steelers were out?
The early morning report was that it was Patriots and Browns, and that the Niners were looking for a wide receiver in return, and that the Steelers were not ready to meet the 49ers' demand, so that they were out of it. That was the situation at that time, and then, things changed. Things are very, very fluid in the NFL. And apparently, yeah, they are. And apparently things change, but like him wanting to come to the Steelers is what's being reported. Like the only difference between the Patriots and Steelers are both 6 Super Bowl champion winning 5-star franchises. They both have quarterback questions right now, but the one is it's Gerard Mayo's first year versus Mike Tomlin, who I guess has a good relationship with Aiyuk apparently. Aiyuk's always liking Mike Tomlin's Instagram pictures, stuff like that. So Tomlin's
Really?
Tomlin's got to be
man.
Tomlin's got to be the difference in this. It has to be, and that's Mike Tomlin football because that's what he does.
What's Aiyuk doing, Lombo? We've asked you about him before. What team's he going to? We hear these teams are in, and they're out, then they're in, they're out. We don't know what's happening.
Well, I think the bigger thing is the Niners have basically threw up their hands and said we can't get a deal done. I think every time in a negotiation, when you trying to get a deal done, the marketplace determines the deal. And with this receiver market the way it's been, it should be an easy deal to do. DJ Moore got $27.5 million on an extension. He's had 4 years of 1,000 yards. I'm sure everybody in San Francisco is saying to Aiyuk and his representatives, look, this is the deal that's out there. We think you're worth this. He obviously wants to get over that 30 million range, which the numbers and his time in terms of playing haven't allowed him to get there, in terms of the production as it relates to these other guys. So there lies the rub, and I think the New England situation was, for me, confusing because I'm from the school, and I think teams have made this mistake, including the Raiders. When you're really a young team, the last thing you want to do is put a lot of assets into a high-priced receiver because, as Bill Walsh would say, we can't get him the ball, where he's only going to cause problems from within. The last position you handle on your team is the wide receiver. That's a Walsh quote, not a Michael Lombardi quote. So I think, to me, the Patriots not getting involved is kind of probably the right thing to do. Why would they give up a second-round pick, which could be the 33rd pick overall in the draft,
Amen,
when you need way too much? So, I think the tie-up is Aiyuk agreeing to a deal. I think the 49ers threw their hands up because they didn't want to trade him. But to get him signed, it's hard. And at some point, you just say, hell, the guy's being unreasonable.
Zahn, I don't want to point out something, but I feel like I have to. I think we're all kind of on the same page that the Niners had 100% control of this situation. I lost it. You there? Can you still hear me?
Yeah,
I heard you. Yeah,
I apologize.
I definitely think they lost it, Pat.
But Lombo, can you hear me?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Jeez Louise. How do we not have service everywhere in the United States?
I hear him.
We got you, Pat.
Okay, you can. Okay,
yeah. Here you see you.
Thank you. Great to hear you. Great to hear you guys. All right. Anyways, Lombo, it felt like the Niners had Aiyuk for 3 more years because they got 2 franchise tags after this year, and they had all the cards. Then we saw in Hard Knocks with the Giants where we saw Joe Shane bring up, do we want to deal with Saquon Barkley and the public backlash of another situation like that? And we saw Jonathan Taylor last year with the Indianapolis Colts. Is this like another example of, like, I don't want to say like superstars can basically dictate what the hell they want to happen, but kind of? Like, is that starting to become the thing? And how many of these types of people you think are out there that are able to kind of dictate what happens with them from within if they're in a contract and they're not happy?
Well, I mean, if Aiyuk can dictate it, anybody can. Aiyuk's not sitting there at the superstar level. He's not Randy Moss. I mean, he's not J.J. Jefferson. I mean, come on, let's be clear. He's a really good player. But this is a lot about the clubs. Let's be very clear here. The collective bargaining agreement negotiated by the players' union and the owners said that if you hold out, you're going to get fined. Hassan Riddick he's over $1 million fine now. Why he's holding out? Only God knows. The total just keeps coming up, and they can't forfeit it. But when you let a guy sit in, and come into your building and not practice or not play or not participate and get away with the fining, you lose all your leverage. The owners negotiated to make sure there were no holdouts, and these agents have done a wonderful job of the sit in. Well, okay, I come in, I pass my physical. Oh, I don't feel good. I got a bad back. Jalen Ramsey, this is what happened. Do you realize how many people the Jaguars sent him to back specialists because he had a bad back? Well, he was sitting in, and eventually he got his way. This is becoming, and somebody at some point has to stand up and say, you know what? I've had enough. Brendan, you either play football or not. If you don't want to go to practice, if you think you're hurt, okay, fine, sit off to the side. But the more you give in, it makes everybody else say, okay, let me do that. Let me try to do that. It would be like Hassan Riddick not fining him. They say they're not going to fine CeeDee Lamb. He's holding out. Why? Why? The rules allow you to do it. Are you afraid you're going to get ripped in the media? If that's your problem, I mean, we all get ripped in the media every single day. So I think you're just giving it back. I don't understand it. I mean, look, here's the reality. We're not a casino running NFL teams. We're not just hoping you have meals. We want to comp you for room, food, and beverage and hope you play the slots. We're here to build a football team. And either you take that on or you don't.